Ukraine is going to be destroyed. Those aren't my words, though that's how I feel about it. Those are the words of President Trump looking right into Zelensky's face and telling him to take the deal or you will be destroyed. Because we are done with you. 1.8 million of your soldiers dead. You are out of options. So more on that part of the story in a minute because we got a lot of news to get to here. But first, we are at a tipping point moment. Either this war ends with the United States and Russia working on some kind of new trade partnership, building a massive bridge between Alaska and Russia, or Ukraine goes into this winter and the last remaining soldiers are killed by Russia or they freeze to death defending the undefendable, which is Ukraine's border right now. It all comes down to the next few weeks. So over the past 48 hours, Ukrainian moms fed up, attacking those conscription goons. A number of videos emerging this weekend of moms trying to basically attack these conscription goons who are trying to take away their sons, kill their sons, send them to the front lines where they will die undeniably. Right now, the Russian forces are slowly advancing, trying to encircle the important logistics hub of Kupiansk, which Ukraine had a major gain, and they got that back in 2022 during that counteroffensive, of course, led by NATO with U.S. support. Well, over the weekend, 3 more Ukrainian villages were captured by Russia. In just one of those villages, the Russians killed 510 Ukrainian soldiers. Gone, eliminated. Not surrendered and put in a prison. No, dead. The noose is tightening, and it's about to get cold. Russia is targeting Ukraine's remaining energy infrastructure. On Saturday, Russian forces attacked a coal mine in southeastern Ukraine and an unidentified energy site in the north near the Russian border. When the lights went out, Zelensky and his staff told people to sit in the dark and meditate. No joke, I'm not making this up. They told citizens to sit in the dark and blame Putin for the darkness. I'm going to quote them specifically. How should one prepare? First of all, mentally and psychologically. Breathing exercises are the simplest method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and then exhale. And pause for 4. A few such cycles send the brain a signal that everything is under control, end quote. Breathe in. It's Putin's fault. Breathe out. It's Putin's fault. No, it bloody isn't. And Trump knows this. Trump is done playing games with Ukraine's dictator, Zelensky. I'm told by sources close to the White House that this meeting with Trump and Zelensky was raw and very loud. Trump was cussing, swearing, yelling at the little clown, Zelensky. He even at one point threw things across the room in disgust. Reporters and multiple outlets say Trump shouted, cursed, even tossed maps across the table and yelled at Zelensky to accept Putin's terms. And he told them that if Ukraine refuses, it would be destroyed. Insiders reported that Zelensky brought out a damn map to show the front lines and how he can defend those lines, showing the previous border and all of that stuff. What was formerly Eastern Ukraine is now Russian. Trump just flipped out. He grabbed the maps, threw them across the room, and he said, I don't give a shit about your maps. Stop showing me your maps. I'm done. You can't win this thing. It's over. Zelensky looked like a beaten down man, like a little puppy. Let's not mince words here. This wasn't a polite negotiation. Sources tell Redacted that Trump basically exploded at Zelensky, repeatedly telling him that the runway for this resistance is now closing. According to eyewitnesses and reports and leaked accounts, Trump argued that the status quo is unsustainable for the United States. Our stockpiles are dwindling, our willingness to keep arming Kiev is fraying, and he made clear to Zelensky that Washington's patience has limits. That moment, maps flying, voices raised, was a signal to everyone in the room and who was watching at home that the U.S. is pivoting from like unlimited military backing to hard transactional pressure right now. I mean, this time there weren't cameras in the room, but the Trump administration leaked the story to show just how fed up they are with Zelensky. So why does this matter? Because behind the drama lies a strategic reality. Putin has put forward an offer to end this fighting. Trump appears ready to push Ukraine towards it as much as they can. Putin's peace proposal, broadly cast as a freeze along current lines and potential territorial concessions in Kherson and Zaporizhia, it creates a brutal math problem for Zelensky right now. Accept a deal that codifies, puts into writing now, major Russian territorial gains. You know, the area that you were bombing for the last 10 years and killing all those ethnic Russians in a genocide? Yeah, that belongs to us now. You're done. We own it. It's now part of Russia. Sorry. Go take your ball and go back home. Or you can keep fighting. With diminishing external support, US is pulling back, EU is even partially pulling back, and risk total devastation. Russia's response to Trump's new overture has been cautious but consistent. The Kremlin says the picture hasn't changed, but the geopolitical leverage has actually shifted. And now the biggest part of the story, this is like crazy. This is the biggest part, which is that Viktor Orbán has stepped into this. Hungary's prime minister has unexpectedly stepped in to the role of mediator here, offering Budapest as the site for talks, calling his country an island of peace. This is huge. This isn't some neutral NGO or some obscure back-channel peace deal. This is a NATO and EU member openly inviting both Washington and Moscow to the table. And it shows how irrelevant other EU countries are right now. I mean, this isn't happening in France or Germany. It's happening in Hungary. Orbán hosting this discussion sends a message straight to Ukraine. Even within Europe, cracks are forming in the once solid pipeline of political and military support for Ukraine. When a fellow NATO leader says, hey, I'll mediate this thing, it changes the political calculus for capitals across the continent. And by the way, Orbán has said he would be a no vote on any NATO forces in Ukraine. He's a big veto power. So they've run out of time and they've run out of support. It is over for Ukraine. Now put those pieces together and you get the real danger for Kiev right now is a combination of US pressure, a Russian offer that makes territorial concessions around Kherson and Zaporizhia. We'll pull back a little bit. You can have that land back. And a European mediator willing to legitimize talks that could freeze in place Russian gains. In plain terms, this could be Ukraine's last clear chance to negotiate terms that preserve some of its sovereignty. Or it's going to be ground down to a mulch, to a much smaller, far less independent state. What if Russia takes Odessa? If Russia takes Odessa, you are now a landlocked country, and essentially you are not a country anymore. The stakes aren't abstract. We're talking about cities, infrastructure, millions of lives, and the future of a European order that's been stable for decades. I mean, let me be blunt for a second. If Ukraine refuses to engage seriously with these offers, if they continue to expect open-ended military support from an America that's telling partners, hey, we can't even fill up our own ammo dumps right now. We don't have the missiles to send you because we can't make them quickly enough. The consequences are catastrophic. Trump's posture is not just rhetorical theater here. He's signaling a policy that says the U.S. will not be the eternal safety net anymore. We cannot be. Our own missile supplies are running low, and we are $38 trillion in debt. We can't be your piggy bank anymore, tiny Zelensky. Basically, Trump was telling Zelensky, hey, who's your daddy? You are out of options without us. We are your daddy. It reminds me of that earlier White House meeting where Trump told Zelensky in no uncertain terms, you have no cards. So here's how I see it playing out. First of all, the U.S. is signaling that it won't shoulder this war indefinitely. Second, European countries are beginning to move towards negotiated outcomes that may be able to preserve peace. But yes, Ukraine will need to give up that land. Sorry, Eastern Ukraine is gone. It's now Russia. And third, Russia, they hold all the cards. They are watching closely, and Putin's offer is an invitation. We're going to freeze the map where it is right now, in Russia's favor. If Ukraine misreads the moment, if Kiev insists on making some big demands without the muscle to back them up, like if Zelensky's secretly listening to like Lindsey Graham tell him that, hey, you can beat Russia, the result will be the total annihilation of Ukraine. Out of options. This is the terrifying reality behind the fury in the White House. You will be destroyed. Take this peace deal now. So we'll be watching these Viktor Orbán peace talks very closely in Budapest. I'm very excited to see where this goes. We are a pro-peace show after all. So that's the news update part of today's video. Now I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is tied directly to everything we just talked about and America's security here at home, trying to protect the homeland right now, because the Biden administration essentially destroyed the homeland. Because of everything that's happening in the United States, around the globe, I've been focusing on companies that provide valuable products for security purposes, that cover airports, stadiums, government facilities. And there's one big finding that I found. Many of the biggest threats are actually on U.S. soil. With domestic problems, we have millions of illegal criminal aliens in our country, many of them violent. War is just one part of this complex problem we're facing. So that's why I want to tell you about this company called Liberty Defense. Now, here is their ticker on your screen. It's LDDFF. Shares are available on all the big brokers like Fidelity, Schwab, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, and others. Now, Liberty Defense has been dealing with these complex problems and these different threats that we've been facing and has been working hard with cutting-edge patents and exclusive licenses right now to make travel and large gatherings safe and efficient to attend. So the real core of this potential opportunity lies in the fact that Liberty Defense has raised over $45 million in the past few years in order to develop and commercialize one of the most competitive and innovative products of its kind, in my opinion. Yet the share price has plummeted and cratered by 85% in the past 8 months. It's hugely down right now. So in October of 2022, the company raised $5.1 million at $2.75 a share, compared with Canadian 33 cents today. In May of 2023, the company raised $2 million at $3 a share, compared with 33 cents Canadian today. And then in March of 2025, this year, the company raised $5 million at $1.65 a share, compared with just 33 cents Canadian today. And look at the US price here. So this is why this video is so important. Liberty Defense trades near all-time lows right now. And in my mind, the most important reason I'm featuring Liberty Defense to you right now is because the TSA has just issued a mandate, a massive mandate, that airports must, and I repeat, must, begin screening employees for explosive type threats, including metallic and non-metallic threats. So this brings Liberty Defense to the forefront, having already announced sales and deliveries to a handful of U.S. airports and globally different airports. These units developed by Liberty Defense cost over $100,000 each. Now, Liberty Defense also has won a sole source contract from the TSA to develop an upgrade kit that replaces the existing body scanners at airports. So they can keep the existing infrastructure, but then they go in with these replacement kits and upgrade them. Now, as the TSA starts upgrading these airports over the coming years, this could generate over $100 million in potential sales for Liberty Defense. Now, this comparison chart shows you the company's HexWave is the leading new threat detection device, in my view. Take a look. Now, unlike traditional metal detectors, which fail against plastic or 3D printed guns, HexWave scans individuals in real time as they pass through processing up to 700 people per hour without requiring them to remove their jackets, take off their shoes, take things out of your pockets, all of that. It's contactless. And it has a high throughput design which minimizes disruptions while maximizing accuracy. It reduces false alarms, and it reduces the need for those invasive pat-downs that everyone hates. The origins of this groundbreaking technology trace back to MIT's Lincoln Labs, where it was developed with DHS funding to counter evolving threats like subway bombings, mass shootings, and a lot of this new 3D printed plastic technology. So Liberty Defense secured an exclusive license, transforming lab innovation into a commercial powerhouse. Traditional detectors are obsolete against non-metallic threats like 3D printed weapons, as evidenced by the recent seizures of all those ghost guns and the IEDs in New York City. MIT's Lincoln Laboratory, which focuses on R&D, patented a certain millimeter wave technology that was licensed exclusively by Liberty Defense. The company developed it, even winning a $500,000 award from the TSA, and then commercialized it in its HexWave product in September of 2023 with a price tag of $100,000 per unit. And by the way, one of the first customers was the Los Alamos National Laboratory. But the most incredible new development occurred when the TSA issued a mandate for roughly 173 airports around the country to start screening their employees starting in April of 2026. So the system's magic lies in the AI smarts that it has. The machine learning models differentiate like innocuous items like keys, phones, tissues in your pocket, AirPods, from anomalies. With over 95% accuracy, minimizes false flag positives that like plague all of those legacy systems. Now, I want to talk about those legacy systems, those older systems that are in airports, because there's more than 1,000 units deployed across the United States alone. These machines are already showing their limitations. They are harder to detect non-metallic threats. They require shoes come off, belts come off, things out of your pockets. You know the whole deal, right? Oh, is that a chapstick in your pocket? Take it out of your pocket. They have a high false alarm rate. And the TSA knows this all too well. So better than scrapping thousands of those existing machines, Liberty Defense has an HD AIT kit that retrofits all of the current AIT scanners with new imaging hardware, advanced signal processing. And the result is like turning a 1990s TV into a modern 8K flat screen. So just so we're all on the same page here, the TSA has awarded Liberty Defense a sole sourced contract, and the patented technology is exclusively licensed to Liberty Defense. What this means is that an estimated cost of $125,000 per upgrade kit, and with 1,000 units already out there in the US that are in need of an upgrade, and another 600 to 1,000 abroad, is that for this company with a current market cap of just 17 million, the upside potential here is enormous, at least as I understand it, going through the research. So again, this company is down 85% from its highs. Here's their ticker on your screen right now. I'll have links to their website in the description below so you can dive in and watch some more details about the Hex Wave and understand how this company operates. Do your own homework on this company, guys, and we'll see you next time.